What is up, everybody? Love you guys. Check this out. So in the height of COVID, I remember going to the emergency room more than once. And one particular occasion, my heart was doing some pretty funky things. My heart rate was going below anywhere from 40 to 30 beats per minute, and that's not too good. So that being said, a lot of the times my eyes would roll in the back of my head and I just ceased to kind of exist for a little bit. All those pretty little alarms would go off. And I'll never forget what a guy told me. He said, hey, I want you to call your family because in COVID we can't have them here, and if you need to make peace with anybody, now's the time. Guys, I realized in that moment, that was my moment. That was my moment. Many of you have that moment. You have that second where you realize, hey, this is it for me. Now, I've been faced with that moment in industry. I've been faced with that moment out in the world doing things that I ought not do and getting myself in trouble with bad people. And I've had that moment in the ER and realized this might be my last moments on this planet. It is in that time that you want to be at peace. And for the first time in my life, I will have to tell you, I was at peace. I looked at my life and realized that 4 suicide attempts had been thwarted because of my efforts. I realized that I had literally saved people's lives. I realized that I had worked really hard to help people to think a different way. And though I knew I'm not perfect, and I know I wasn't going before the Lord with 6-pack abs and a millionaire, I knew I had really given her all I had. I knew my children loved me. I knew my wife loved me. And I knew that they knew I loved them and would do anything for them. So I ask you, if you were in that moment right now, would you be at peace? Would you be at peace? That's a big question to ask. I know that's pretty bold. It's pretty rude, as a matter of fact. But I ask that of you. Would you be at peace? If the answer is no, that in that moment, whether in the ER or faced with life, that you would not be at peace and ready to go, I suggest start writing some lists and being intentional about fixing that, because there's no time like the present. You see, I thought I had a long life ahead of me until a nurse in the ER says, make your peace with your family and your maker. You see, I thought I was going to be fine, but in that moment I realized I possibly didn't have another 30 minutes. I possibly didn't have another 30 days or another 30 years, very likely. Laying them there in the ER with no family around me would be my last moments. So I ask you one more time. Have you striven in your life to build a legacy that will far surpass your legend? If the answer is no, it's not too late to start. Will your life before you inspire others to live a different way? If not, it's not too late to start. If you were sitting in the ER or laying there on your back, same as me, and someone looked at you and said, make peace with your maker and your family, would you be ready to go? You see, we need to live our lives in such a way. We need to strive every day to realize it could very well be our last. And I'm going to tell you, after that, and I was given new hope and able to stand before you today, I will say this. I made my peace with my maker and my family. I also told those that I loved them that I had never told that I loved them. I made peace with people that I felt like were outstanding out there in the world, and I made sure that I was in the clear. If you're going to build a legacy that will far surpass your legend and inspire others today, you got to live like every day's your last. I hope this helps.